Hey there, this is Matt with State of Flux, here with a review for Thor. Continuing my journey to Avengers Doomsday, we are finally at one of my favorite installments of the Phase 1 lineup of Marvel, which usually gets me skeptical looks, but I really genuinely love Thor. Kenneth Branagh has always been one of my favorite filmmakers, and what he brings to this movie is his exquisite dedication to art direction and staging. He gives some really great performances pulled from his actors, but he also brings this Shakespearean heft to the superhero genre, which is all built to my personal sensibilities. All of this stuff is what I love about comics and Shakespeare and drama and all that stuff. He finds a way to marry that perfectly for me. Now, I know this movie isn't for everyone, and it's kind of weird to me. This is the best Thor movie, yet other people really respond well. Some people like The Dark World better than this one. Some people really respond well to what Taika Waititi did with his take on Thor. And, well, I think one of those movies is significantly better than the other. None of them are better than this one. And this one gives you this weight of humanity as told through the story of Thor and Loki. And Loki is given a lot more sympathy in this film than I think anybody ever truly expected. On top of that, you have great performances by Chris Hemsworth, who just oozes charisma and charm, while also having that a bit of what's the word I'm looking for? He's just a slight smarm and an ego that make his character go on a character journey to truly discover what it takes to lead. And I can't not talk about Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston gives an amazing performance in this movie. In fact, when I was watching with my daughter, she had asked when he won his Academy Award, and I was like, to my knowledge, I don't think he's even been nominated, and she was shocked. That'll come back into play when we talk about the Avengers, let me tell you. But regardless, I really like this movie. Now, there is one criticism that I guess can be hurled at this film, which is that it maybe overindulges itself in the Dutch angle, but you know what? It's something that you just have to embrace. Sometimes things are worth watching in a Dutch angle, even though it may be overused or misused or whatnot. Sometimes you can find value in something that is just a Dutch angle. I also wanted to talk about the performers surrounding the great Thor and Loki. And that is, it was an inspired move to get Anthony Hopkins to play Odin. He's a man who commands a great, presence, grandiose in his, depth of acting ability, but also having somebody who can understate a scene when that's necessary. Somebody who can be soft-spoken, but you also truly believe that they are capable of greatness. And his performance, I think, doesn't really get talked about enough, nor does Rene Russo's. Now, she does get a little more to do in the second one, but she's good for her couple of scenes here where she is kind of just set decor, and you're not wrong. But I also like the Warriors 3. I love Lady Sif. They cast these characters really well. And then you get the human side of things. And I think that's what a lot of people bump into. It's certainly what my daughter did. She loved all the Asgard stuff, but the moment that we spend time on Earth, she cared far less about that sense of the story than I did. I was invested all the way through. I think Kat Dennings is fantastic as the comic relief. I think that Natalie Portman is good, and you see that she's just smitten with with Chris Hemsworth the moment that they're on screen together, and you buy that maybe this isn't the relationship of the ages, but you definitely buy that these two people are deeply invested in each other over a weekend. And I know some people hit at the romance between them, but I get it. How can you not look at him and fall in love with his charm, his charisma, something you've never seen before? When I first saw this movie, like, my wife was just like, "This is Thor, I'm invested." She totally fell for him the moment that he showed up on screen. And, like, I get it. And then, what's not to love about Natalie Portman? She's really, really great in this movie and sells the romance, at least to me. I embraced all of that. Skarsgård is fun in this role as the sort of skeptic. And Agent Coulson is finally given something quite a lot to do, which was really, really fun and sets up his use in the Avengers quite well. My daughter was watching this and was like, "Oh, Coulson, he's like doing stuff," and she was all interested, and I even showed her right beforehand the funny thing that happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer short film, and she was like, "Whoa, I didn't know Agent Coulson could do stuff." She also really dug the Hawkeye cameo. She thought that was cool. She did not know who Hawkeye was. She was like, "Is Green Arrow in this?" And I was like, "No, it's the other one." And she was like, "Who's Hawkeye?" And then I had to pause the movie and explain, and she was like, "I've heard of him before. I always thought his name was Hulk Guy." And I was like, "No, but it should be." So anyway, Hawkeye, she thought he was kind of neat. She was less enthused with the movie. She liked it, but she wasn't like blown away. She thought the action was great. She loved the Asgard stuff. As I say, she was a little less invested in the human side of things. But I'm all in all the way through. I think this movie has a great emotional through line. It has an incredible visual look. I could not believe upon first viewing that they made the Rainbow Bridge look completely convincing and not the stupidest thing in the world. I was fully anticipating that it was going to look just dumb, but it looked amazing, and I was pleased to see that. But all of Asgard, the look of that place was unique, and that is what I do think the Phase 1 movies kind of had that the later Marvel movies didn't, which is this distinct visual style. Certainly people bump into the Dutch angliness of Kenneth Branagh's take on it, but excusing that one camera trait that is admittedly a bit overused in the film, he gives you a movement with the camera. He sets up really dynamic and interesting shots that feel like paintings. And it has its own look separate from everything else until you're on the Earth side of things, and then he just kind of was copying how Jon Favreau shot the Iron Man movies, which isn't particularly interesting, if I'm being honest. Both Joe Johnston and Kenneth Branagh really did bring an interesting visual style, and I think Joss Whedon did the same with the Avengers. We'll discuss that more moving forward, but here I really like the look of this film. And let me talk to you about the score. This score is fantastic. Patrick Doyle is one of my favorite composers, and he does not get his praises sung near enough. Now, Kenneth Branagh has partnered with him over several different films. I think his score for Hamlet, Kenneth Branagh's 4-hour Hamlet adaptation, is amazing. It's one of my favorite film scores. But Patrick Doyle's work, both in in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, I think has the best non-John Williams Harry Potter score. This score is the best score of all of the Phase 1 lineup films. And, well, it doesn't hold as being Thor's exclusive theme. It is a theme that gets reused in some of the later Avenger films, as well as in Thor Ragnarok. And I think it's because this one sounds the most of its place. It sounds Nordic, it sounds epic, it sounds holy, it sounds just adventurous. It's a gorgeous score. It's a romantic score in the truest sense of that word. And all of these things are why I love this movie. I give it 4 stars. It's one of my favorite films. I think next to Iron Man, this is my favorite of the solo origin story movies for any of the characters. Now, I know a lot of people think that's crazy. I have talked to many people at work who think that this one is the worst Thor movie. I don't get it, man. I don't understand how you can not see the quality that's presented on screen all the way through, and it has like great beats of humor. Like Chris Hemsworth, people don't talk about enough in his ability to pivot from weighty drama to like screwball comedy or even physical comedy. He's so gifted and adept at doing that that it's not lost on me that he's had the most varied career of the like Marvel big 3 heroes. Certainly Robert Downey Jr. has had a more vast career and has played many different types of characters across the board, but he usually stays in just drama and stuff like that. Occasionally he'll do some comedy because he is naturally funny, but I think Chris Hemsworth's career is a more interesting one, even though he's never really had a really particularly good hit afterwards, which is a shame. Because I think he's equally as talented as, well, maybe not equally as talented, he's almost as talented as Robert Downey Jr. Or Chris Evans and whatnot. Hemsworth is fantastic. I'm babbling. What did you think of Thor? Let me know in the commentary down below. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, and if you stayed through the entire Dutch angled review, you're a rock star. Thanks for being in on that joke. Let me know what your name is down below. I'll give you a shout out for the Thor The Dark World review in a couple of weeks or whatever. Thanks for watching, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.